All right, what's up, everybody? We are on the third episode of Death Note, which is called Dealings. And what can I say, man? I could not have hoped to be as into this show as I am right now. Basically, this is my second time, my second session watching it because I watched the first two episodes back to back. So I've been able to kind of reflect on it. And I'm so happy with how the show is already sort of turning out and how I was kind of wrong about the way I remembered it. I talked about, of course, how 10 years ago or so, I gave it a chance and I watched the first couple of episodes. I saw, by the way, on my Netflix, but I'm still not sure exactly at what point I stopped watching. On my Netflix, I saw that there was history up to the fourth episode. So, it could be that somebody messed around with it and that was not until the point where I actually watched it. But that's kind of, I guess... how far it goes for me. But again, it's like I didn't remember Jack, honestly. Like, one of the funniest things to point out, I think, is the way I'm currently looking at Ryuk, where I remember, use Ryuk as the excuse. I don't know if that was just me making up an excuse in my head at the time, or if I was genuinely sort of like... not pleased by the fact that we saw somebody like that, because I was more into realistic type of shows, and so any sort of supernatural element or something, or like a weird creepy creature character, whatever, would just throw me off. But he might as, like, basically right now where I'm at in the show, he might be my favorite so far. I love how he's such a smart ass. How he even fully admits that he's just like doing this out of boredom. He's just messing around. He's the first person to point out to Light how, like, Light himself seems to have some issues going on, right? And I'm just laughing my ass off seeing this character on screen. Whereas before, I just remembered my young self, like I said, being a little bit more close-minded and whatever, thinking that I just didn't like his character whatsoever. And now it's like, oh, he's basically my favorite at the moment. Granted, we haven't been introduced to that many characters yet, and I'm not sure if there's going to be a bigger cast that will play a huge role in this show, other than, of course, Light and L. Speaking about Light and L, that's something that, of course, I have to get to. That's what the second episode that we just came off of put the biggest focus on. There's a real chess game going on there, and I love how quickly... Again, they developed that storyline already, where L is completely onto Light, almost, right? He's narrowed down his location, he figured out the first person he murdered, and therefore, the city that he was from, used that one guy who was like on death row or whatever, so that Light would kill him on the spot, so now he knows what power Light possesses with the Death Note and stuff. I don't know, it's just like, it's going at such rapid pace, and it makes me wonder, of course, what shenanigans and what moves are both of these characters going to have to pull to discover each other's identities, and how are they going to prevent it, actually, rather? Because I know that this show is, it's going to be like, what was it? Maybe like 37 episodes? I'm not sure if their battle is something that will play out for the entirety of the show, or maybe it's just going to be kind of a sub-storyline for a while. But yeah, it's like it will have to play out for at least a while, I would think. I don't see them. I don't see that part coming to a climax anytime soon yet, and so it makes genuinely just like makes me wonder again, like how long is it going to take for them to even discover each other's to discover each other's identity? And once they do, actually, that now I'm thinking that too. Once they do, will they actually then kill each other? Maybe there's going to be things they find out about each other that will actually change their perspectives or something. It's there's a lot of directions that this show could be going into right now, the way I see it, and I like how Light, again, he's a great character so far. It's also hard to root for him. I find myself in a very similar situation as I am with Attack on Titan, where I'm just kind of observing, and I'm not necessarily hoping for it to go in a certain direction, or I'm hoping for him to win, or whatever. Like, I see very well how him playing God is not necessarily the ideal thing, most likely. Because it raises all these moral questions, right? Who does get to play God? And you can get into the whole aspect of it where, like, we basically as a society, of course, essentially decide on how criminals should be punished and stuff. And now basically you have this this light guy who is able to dictate it for himself. So, I don't know. It's like it's fascinating. That's the most important thing. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to say whether I like it or not. I just want to see what direction is the story going to go into, and what does it mean for a character. And I hope that's a question that, of course, the creators of this show have thought about a lot. I don't know anything about the creators of the show, by the way, or I assume there's a manga too. I'm not sure, honestly, but yeah, if they've thought these questions through a lot. But I would think so, because this show, again, it's sort of being talked about in the same vein as Attack on Titan, where like it's really deep and it's geniusly sort of like laid out, I guess. And I'm just looking forward to the ride, man. It's fantastic so far. And I will say that out of any of the animes that I've seen right now, which is, of course, it is Attack on Titan and it is Demon Slayer and now Death Note, this is the one I'm most into just like 2 episodes in. So I thought overall that as an introduction, this is I mean, Attack on Titan had a great introduction too, by the way. I was super into that too. This one even just a little bit more. I feel right now at the point I'm at in the show, right, where I haven't seen much development yet. Yeah, because it totally deals with all the themes that I love so much. I love, crime and drama in general, but detective stuff. It's so, I don't know. I absolutely love it. So I can't wait to dive in. Of course, guys, if you enjoy my reactions here to Death Note, you can already watch the next 8 episodes right now over on Patreon. That means we will be on episode 11 over there for you to check out. That is linked on top of the description, so definitely make sure you go and check it out. Help support my channel, of course, so that is much appreciated too. Over there, we also have full-length reactions if you want to watch the entire episodes along with me, rather than these YouTube cuts, of course. Yeah, that I put up on my channel. But with that being said, let's dive into episode 3 of Death Note. Still wonder if the guy with the blue hair is Light. Oh, sorry, L. Yeah, I don't know, because we saw some brief glimpses of L, I remember. He kind of seemed to look like that. Right, and the detective guy we saw was more like the spokesperson for L, right? So I assume we're gonna see more of that character too, and he's gonna still be important. He's so convinced. Justice. Yeah, it's interesting how, of course, L looks at himself too as Justice, being somebody who hunts down criminals. 3,000? Oh, okay, but that's just reports, yeah. So nobody truly knows. Some even want to take credit for it. You gotta love it. Okay, always kind of the same times. Maybe they can figure out that he's somebody who actually goes to school or something? Oh shit, yep. This L guy is too good. A very childish mentality. Don't tell him that. Yeah, but you don't want to suffer from tunnel vision. That's of course a big thing. Okay. So he's kind of like saying it might be a good thing, or am I interpreting that right? Okay, to understand better the method of how it works or whatever. Because what was it? Like you needed to think of them too as we wrote them down, or? Oh, nice, nice. Exactly, man. Yeah, okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. I can respect that. He still appreciates him bringing it up, you know? As it should be. Oh my god. I can't get over Ryuk just like witnessing it all in the background. I don't think we saw that dad yet. Wait. This guy is his dad? Oh my god. Okay, this makes things a little more interesting. Wow, I did not see that coming. Yeah, but we're all so proud of you, Light. Meanwhile, he's depressing his own dad. He's gonna make things... that makes so much sense, because he's gonna be able to get so much information out of him now. To stay in hiding. Wow. Every episode so far, they come up with something to, you know, spice it up again. I love it. Well, not exactly. Not fully yet. Who made up those rules? Okay, who are we writing down? What is he gonna use to, I assume, throw off the police, right? Like that's his priority now. Is he just making sure that he's like in certain activities now? As these guys are being killed, so that he couldn't possibly be looked at as the one responsible? Because they don't know that detail? Oh, I see, I'm dumb. He's just trying to throw them off on the times. Yeah. Okay, well that makes him more suspicious now. God damn it, dude. There's nothing to throw this guy off. Oh shit, he even realizes that. Oh, he wants him to. Why would he want him to? Exactly. God, this is such a chess game, man. Holy shit. It's already a lot for me to handle. Yeah. Well, okay, he wants to kind of separate him. Yeah, good point. Oh, he wants to put them against each other even. Oh my god. Okay. So through his dad, he can kind of then, yeah, I guess join in on the police team in a way and try and find out about L. Okay. Some guy's already losing hope. Oh, or just literally afraid. Yeah. They all, yeah, because they're not as anonymous. Yeah. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I totally understand that it might be just weird working with this L guy who is fully anonymous and you aren't, which is a real danger in this case. I like how it's a different class every single time. Now it's math. Oh shit. He can tell somebody's already shadowing him? Yeah. Okay, Ryuka's gonna tell him now? Just don't say anything back. Yeah.
ノートの最後かライトの最後を見届けなくてはならないからだ。しかし、俺はライトの味方でも
Okay, yeah, he's just chilling.
もっとも同居人としての口出しはするがな。どうしたんだよ、リュウ君。
Get to the point already is what he thinks.
だから今から俺が言うことは、キラの味方として言うのではなく、俺自身が気持ち悪い。
It's creeping him out, I see.
ずっとお前をつけている人間がいる。
Yep. Yeah, he doesn't like hearing that. Oh my god, he's right there behind him. Didn't see that coming, did you? Something tells me though it's not L. Yeah, he's just looking at Light, but now Ryuk feels watched. I mean, maybe it is actually one of L's guys. Yeah, exactly. They would need a lot though. Okay, okay.
二つ目の違いは多分ライトにとってもっと面白い。死神は人間の顔を見るだけでその人間の名前がわかる。死神の目には人間の顔を見るとそいつの名前と寿命が顔の上に。
Okay. So what does he see?
もちろん今俺の目にはライトの名前と寿命が見えている。
What are those numbers?
時間に直すと何年かはっきりわかる。そんなことは口が裂けても言えない。
Oh shit.
だから死神は殺す奴の名前がわからなくて困ることはないし、それが俺とライトの決定的な違いだ。
Well, that's an interesting piece of information that he holds over him.
死神は自分の落としたノートを拾った人間の目を死神の目にしてやることができる。
So he can give him those abilities?
死神の目玉の値段はその人間の残りの寿命の
Oh my god. Okay, okay.
あと50年生きるとすれば25年。
Okay, okay. Is he gonna take it?
僕の殺したい人間の名前が見えても教えない。残りの寿命の半分で死神の目にできる。そうすればよりデスノートを使いやすくなるというわけか。
Yeah, that sure is an interesting ability. I feel like he's gonna take it though, but will he now already? Well, he can figure out who this guy is too, yeah. Was that the guy that we saw, or is it somebody else entirely? I think it's somebody else entirely. I could be wrong. Wow, a lot of information in this episode, honestly. So much so that I won't lie about it, but it did have me zone out once or twice a little bit, where I'm like, this is just going too fast. And so I actually had to like rewatch a couple of parts very briefly to make sure if I got certain things right. Especially that dialogue that Ryuk had there at the very end, talking to Light about the differences between the Shinigami and real people. Where I think the way he worded it, or what he explained, is that when he, as Ryuk, writes down a name or something, basically somebody normally, he said, lives until 60. If I write down that they will now live until 40 or whatever, then I get the remaining lifespan, so 20 years added on top of my life. And this is why these Shinigami just continue, I guess, living forever, essentially. Yeah, and then he also explains to Light, or gives him this deal, essentially, where, like, you can get my eyes, through which you can actually get the names of people. You can see their lifespan, I think, too, right? And you can get them from me, or, you can get the same ones or whatever, if you are willing to cut your own life in half. Which, of course, I don't know what they're going to do with that. I definitely do see Light taking it. Because it's just like, it's going to make things more interesting, right? And he himself mentions already how it's going to be very advantageous to him in, everything that he's doing. I don't imagine just that it's just advantageous in like just being able to identify more people to to get rid of, criminals or whatever, but also the people trailing you or whatever, right? Which we see is now happening. But yeah, again, so much information. At the very end there, we see a glimpse of what the guy looks like who is chasing him, right? And I don't know if I got it right, because I even like looked and directly compared, but that guy does look a lot like one of the younger guys in the police force that we saw earlier on, but I'm not sure if it's him. This is still like one of the biggest struggles for me with anime, is like detecting people's faces, and like I can never tell how old certain characters are in anime, or sometimes if people are one and the same or not. I always get confused. Especially, of course, if I'm still new to a lot of these characters. So please forgive me for that. I'm genuinely not sure if it is supposed to be that guy or not. So I guess I'll just find out by the next episode. But yeah, the other big detail that we got is how the dad, or Light's dad, who we had not seen yet, is actually this guy in the police force. And it's funny because it did come as a huge shock to me, and nonetheless, I feel like I do actually slightly remember, I think, this detail. So I think I did watch up until this point, and again, it probably was then episode 4 or whatever where I stopped watching a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, again, it's cool to keep adding these things to it, because they switch up the story completely, and they add a whole new twist to it, and of course, it just... it's going to help the narrative along, because this is just even more... this will add even more ways to, for Light to keep track of what they know about him. And, he talks about how he wants to actually set up the police force against L and, kind of like distance them from each other, which is, of course, super smart. The interesting part is too how L is completely aware of what's going on, and like, oh, that's weird, you tried to throw me off with these times as soon as I figured out that you must have been a student, so clearly I'm onto something. This L is super smart as well. And so I love it. It's very hard for me to tell where it's all going. I just notice how, like, this show already does such a great job at making you able to understand how large the scope of this could potentially get. And so it's I mean, at the same time, it's a little bit daunting. I'm not gonna lie, because it gives me those Attack on Titan flashbacks where I'm like, oh my god, it's it's gonna be so much in my head to keep track of, because I already have that now, where like some of the details I'm like forgetting about them, and it all goes very fast, whether it comes to the rules of the Death Note in itself, or again, all the characters that we're dealing with, and everything that is being talked about now. This thing with the eyes, the guy trailing him, it's like 3 episodes in. I mean, these episodes, they're short, but they're very condensed. Is that the word? But I'm just saying there's a lot of information packed inside of them. And that's great, because, again, it's like they do not... The last thing they do with these is to waste your time. Every scene has its purpose, and it just keeps moving and moving and moving. And I love that. I gotta say that I did not... I never knew that going into anime, with Attack on Titan and now with Death Note, that like these shows would be this story driven. And like I said, just like, how should I put that? I mean, it's really of an intellectually very high level, right? It makes you think, more so than even a lot of mainstream TV shows that I find super mature and that do this same type of things, but they still allow you more time. And these shows, they are not messing around, you know what I mean? So I can only appreciate that. Once again, I'm just saying that already having a camera pointed at you and bright lights on and whatever, and I'm I'm looking at the screen, I'm like trying to react at the same time. It's hard, it's a challenge, but I guess I'm kind of like Light. Like, I'll take it, let's try my very best. But nonetheless, I hope you all enjoyed my reaction to this third episode of Death Note. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Should you already want to watch the next 8 episodes, you can actually do that right now over on Patreon, which is linked on top of the description. We will be on episode 11 over there, so you can watch all the way up until there right now. Along with full-length reactions if you want to see me react to these episodes in their entirety. Over on Patreon, of course, you can also interact with me and stuff as I'm basically watching it, at the same pace as you're receiving these videos. So you can give me input if you want. It would be much appreciated. This is once again gonna be one of those shows where I will take all the input I can get. So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to continue the ride. With that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you back in the next episode.